Hey, welcome to Speak Podcast, Special People Encouraging a Kid. This is your girl, Barisha. You can call me Bree here on the podcast. And we're glad that you're here to tune in to hear another episode of Speak, Special People Encouraging a Kid. As always, we're going to give a disclaimer to let you know who you can call if you're contemplating suicide or considering suicide or even attempting suicide. And if you feel like you've been bullied, you can dial the National Suicide Prevention and Crisis Hotline at 988 or even text 988, or you can text 838355 for bullying. If you are in immediate danger, of course, call 911 or your local enforcement. So let's come on in for this episode. We are so glad that you're tuning in with us. As always, share and tell someone about our podcast. Today's episode, we're talking about sorry, you're not the right fit. What? Sorry, you're not the right fit. What in the world do you mean by that? I could be talking about you're not the right fit for the clothes that you're wearing or the shoes that you're wearing or fitting in a group or clique. Yes, I am talking about all of that. Have you ever played the game, the musical chairs, and you're hearing the song going on and on and on, and you know how the game goes, and once the music ends, you have to be in a seat or you're out of the game. Sometimes that the game goes on and the song is playing and you find a seat and then someone else get in that seat and it pushes you off and you fall off and there's no room for you and there's no other seat. Sorry, you're not the right fit. Where that comes from, I'm thinking about a time when I was in a season when I was looking for employment. This was some years back, and I was working at a nice job, but I was ready to leave, and I started looking for more jobs, and I applied for this job, and I thought that I already had it, and I went to one interview and went to the next interview, and the third interview, I felt like I really got this job. And then I received an email, and the email titled said, "Sorry, you're not the right fit." I was crushed. I cried. I was in disbelief. I was confused because I went to two interviews, and in the third interview, I realized that, hey, I may get the job. But here comes this email. I was wounded and I couldn't understand because I felt like I wasn't good enough for this job, or here's another thing, or someone else telling me that I'm not good enough. Instead of looking at really my credentials, probably was not good for that role or that position. I looked within. I felt like it was something going wrong with me. I was not good enough for this job. And so I went through a series of deflecting, feeling depressed, and feeling once again, here's that rejection. Just because of that title, sorry, you're not the right fit. Maybe you're feeling at times that, hey, you're wanting to fit in with this group, or you're wanting to hang out with these group of people, or you wanting to be a part of this clique or this organization, and you keep getting rejection letters, or you keep getting told that you're not the right fit. And so you go home, or you crawl in bed, or you isolate yourself again from people because you feel like, here it is again. I'm not fitting in. I can't fit in with these people, or this person doesn't like me for whatever reason. We at Speak want you to know you're not to fit in every situation. You're not to fit in every group or in every relationship. You're not to fit in those things that doesn't benefit you or things that doesn't make you grow. You're not to fit in. So what do you do when you don't get what you want or you don't get chosen to be in that beta club or an organization that you work so hard to be a part of? What do you do when you feel like you're rejected? And we are going to go deeper with rejection. We can talk all day about rejection just by itself, but we're going to get back to that. But right now, when you feel like you just don't fit in, or someone actually told you you're not good enough, or you don't fit in with what we're looking for, what do you do? There are some practical tools that we want to share with you, and one being that write the first thought that comes to your mind. Get a journal and just write the very first thought that comes to your mind when you feel like you're rejected, when things are not going as you planned. You desired, you hoped, you wished for something. You wished for this to be. You knew that this was going to be it. You tried again, or this was your second interview or your third interview, and you just knew, hey, I got it. And once again, it's a no. Once again, I'm sorry, you're not the right fit. What is that thought? Is this thought helpful or is it harmful? Think about that. Sometimes being rejected, or sometimes hearing the no's, or hearing something like, sorry, you're not the right fit, for so long that thought can become like a default setting. It can become the first thing, the negative, whatever it is, can become that first thought. So we want you to think about that, because we want to encourage you that it's okay. It's okay that you didn't get it. It's okay that you didn't fit in with those group of people. It's okay. But if you do feel like that thought is becoming a distraction, or it's causing other problems within, talk to someone. Don't hold that in. Get a journal, like I mentioned earlier, and write it down. Write those thoughts, those feelings down. But know that you are enough. You're good enough. And you don't have to fit in everything. Everything is not for everybody. So here at Speak, again, we want to leave something with you. We want to leave the scripture that comes from Jeremiah, the first chapter and the 5th verse. And it reads, I know you before I formed you in your mother's womb. Before you were born, I set you apart. That in itself tells you you're not to fit in everything. Again, we're not trying to force or push any of our beliefs onto you. But we want you to remember and to know, if you never heard it before, that you're not to fit in everything. Everything that comes your way is not beneficial. It may be good, but ask the question, is it beneficial? So if you do receive a letter, or if you do hear the words, sorry, you're not the right fit, Tell yourself it's okay because you're not to fit in everything. We want you to live again. Speak up, speak out, and speak from within because you're not. Hear me well. Bring your ear to the tune. You're not to fit in everything. We hope that makes sense. So continue to live, continue to thrive. We here at Speak Podcast, we want you to share with your friends, share with others, come back to the platform, this space to hear more encouraging words. Hit the like button, write a comment. You can email us at speakpodcast1, the number 1, at gmail.com. We will be glad to hear your concerns, your thoughts, and possibly even invite you to be a part of the podcast. Thank you for joining us. Come back again for Speak Podcast. Special people encouraging a kid.